Good morning, everyone. Well, I'm out running around. I've been driving people to and from things. I had to take my friend to his dialysis this morning. I'm going to see if I can stand here and record this. So I got him there, and now I've got my son. He's at a plasma donation thing. He's been doing this before. So I'm waiting for him inside. So I figured I'd go ahead and do my video while I'm here. I'm just going to be talking about the conditions going on in this country. How close are we to World War III? We're as close as we could possibly be without being in it. And the government knows it. The problem that we have is not good for the people. The government has no business getting involved in a war. If it does have a war, it's instigated by our government. But our government is working for the harlot, working for the seven kings, who want one world government, and who have said on their page on the World Economic Forum that they want to eliminate 80% of the population of this planet. What better way to do that than with a war, especially a war that uses nukes and other things? Just kill people as fast as possible. It's evil, pure evil. Now, we're trying to figure out when we're going to get out of here. I don't know. I've said before, we'll probably be going up and the bombs are coming down. But this particular situation, I don't see in the Bible. So I don't know if it really is going to happen or not. But the House has gone ahead and passed a bill to reenact the draft. Now, it won't have any problems coming out of the House, going over to the Senate, who is anti-American and wants to destroy us and wants to see people dead. They're going to go ahead and vote for that, I'm sure, and the president will, somebody leading his hand will sign it. The good news is for all the women livers out there who want equal everything, because you're so equal to men or better than men, you're going to be included in the draft now too. As I say this sarcastically. There is a difference, but you insist there isn't, so you're in the draft. For the past 2 years, the world spent more money on nuclear bombs than they have in many years. Everybody's increasing their expenditures to go to nuclear war. 2023 and 2024, the numbers are high. We know Iran is still continuing to make it. If they could get enough bombs made, they would distribute them to their proxies. They wouldn't do anything. They've learned a long time ago in watching the United States and their foolishness. Vietnam was a foolish war. We weren't fighting the Vietnamese, we were fighting China, but we wouldn't set foot in China, and they could just keep feeding all their proxies, and we bought into it. If we'd have gone after China then, they wouldn't be a threat now, and Vietnam would have ended. So Iran's doing the same thing. They're putting out the arms, they're putting out the orders to go and start attacking Israel or anybody else. But they're not doing anything. They're staying back, hoping that no one's going to figure it out. Well, smart people have figured it out, but dumb people are running our country. So we're close to World War III. Russia has classified, the defense minister has classified the United States as an enemy of the state because of our supporting Ukraine. If we'd have stayed out of it, Russia would have already been done. All they want is to annex the eastern part of Ukraine, and they'd leave the rest of it alone. They want a clear path down to the Black Sea and out to the Gulf, or out to the Mediterranean. That's all they want. So we're pushing the big bear, and the bear is starting to push back. They just had a number of their ships in the Gulf of Mexico, showing their strength. And of course, we had to respond with our ships. Somebody's going to make a mistake if you start doing that kind of stuff. And where are they now? They're in Cuba. Remember the Cuban Missile Crisis? Where they put missiles aimed at the United States in Cuba? I bet you $1 billion that if they chose to do it right now, nobody would stop them. Because they want, the harlot wants, with the World Economic Forum, 80% of the people dead. They don't want to manage that many people. There's too many options for dissidents. They want the rich and they want the poor as servants. That's all they want. And out of that group, one of those kings is going to be the Antichrist, who's walking around now doing whatever he's doing. We don't know who it is. To be fair, he doesn't know he's the Antichrist. So until he dies, somebody's going to kill him. When he dies, he's going to then get the demon in him, and he'll be the Antichrist. Are we ready for him? I think we're real close. We just about have digital money. The price of everything is going up. There's a war going on, two wars going on. Israel's in danger. Somebody's going to have to come in and solve that. The Antichrist is the one that's going to do it. Now, will that avert World War III? Yeah. However, has our government replenished all of our stores and stocks to be able to fight a war? Or are we still capable of fighting? We still have nukes. They haven't gotten rid of those yet, because those take time to get rid of. If they lose power and Trump gets in, I think that would change the world scenario, and they don't want that. So they're doing everything they can to keep him from getting in. But who's going to die and come back as the Antichrist? We're not supposed to know who it is, because we'd recognize him. Our spirit would recognize the Antichrist. So we got to be out of here. That puts the rapture even closer. The dates and all this stuff are all wrong. You need to go watch Barry Ozz's latest video. I know he was a rapture predictor early on, but we kind of all were when we saw the Revelation 12 sign. To actually see something in the Bible take place in Revelation, we thought it was there. But it wasn't the sign of the rapture, it was a sign of the last warning. God always warns people before he lets loose. And that's what that sign is. But go watch his video. He covers why the calendars are all wrong. They've adopted pagan dates and calendars, and so all the calendar dates are wrong. So if we're trying to figure things out based on Jewish calendars, they're all wrong. Sun, moon, and stars in Genesis are up there for signs, not the dates. And our days of the week, they're pagan. Saturn is Saturday. Thor's Day. So we're using a pagan calendar to try to calculate things. It's not going to work. And as I mentioned, the Revelation 12 sign, the 7-year anniversary of it's this fall, on a feast day. I think something major is going to happen on or after that date. Now, is it the rapture? I don't know. Got planes flying overhead here. This is going to be a big year for the world. Very big. We're going to see things happen that we've never seen before. We haven't had the big earthquakes yet. We haven't had mountains collapsing yet. We haven't had things hit us from the sky yet, but it's on the way. We don't know if we're going to get hit by Apophis, the asteroid that's out there. It's going to come very close. We've had things fly by the Earth inside the orbit of the space station, and it's missed us. There's so much debris out there that we could get wiped out entirely. It's not in the Bible to do that, but it does say that we will have some damage from it. Sky falling. So, be prepared. Stock up. I know many of us don't have, the money to go out and buy, 6 months worth of food. Buy 2 days worth of food. Whatever you can afford. Set your priorities. Instead of getting some new clothes, buy more food until you get your stock up. Drive slower in your car to try to save gas and use that money to buy food. Shop around, get an app for your phone that gives you the cheapest gas price. Now, if it's 500 miles away, it's not going to do you any good. But if it's only a mile away, go over there and get the cheaper gas. There's things that you can do right now. This is just to live on this world. We're supposed to be still getting the message out, telling people about Jesus and about God. But we have to live in this world. Like I just talked about, you have to have strength to be able to live in this world. Physical strength to be able to survive what's coming. Jesus had to do his 40 days and 40 nights. I'm sure he prepared for that. Most of us wouldn't survive that long. Do what you can to keep your body in shape, your mind in shape. It's still a muscle between the ears. You got to exercise it. You got to read the Bible. Keep putting good in, and you get good out. And don't let the world, as it's shaping up, scare you. The Bible said that it's going to get that way. But that's why we have a rapture, so that we get out of the way before it gets really bad. But you got to tell your friends and family that are not Christians what to expect when we're gone. They will figure it out. Now, the government's going to have its excuses as to where we went. Let them know what the government excuse will be, so they won't necessarily believe it. Some people, you can't lead around no matter what. It has to get really bad for them before them to look. But plant the seeds. World War III could happen. I don't know. It could be one of those scary ones where somebody launches something and just before it hits, it blows up. I think there's a Star Trek episode about that. Common scenario. And you avoid the war by everybody taking a big sigh of relief and figuring out that maybe it would be better if we discuss this. Now, Satan doesn't want to discuss anything. He just wants us all dead. So don't give in. Pray daily. Take care of your mind, soul, and body, and you will get through this. And when there's nothing you can do about it, that's when we get out of here. Till we meet in the clouds. God bless.